and welcome to this Mango 9 System Administrators tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be looking at how to create an access profile and how to allow people access into the various different modules within Mango. So the first place you want to go to is the System Administration tab at the bottom, then go into Human Resources Setup and select Access Profile. So the first thing we're going to do is create an access profile for some of the users. So the type of access profiles that we have within Mango are administrators, coordinators, maintenance managers, HR managers, etc. And that all gives them different access to the different modules within Mango. So we're going to create a access profile example. Now, for each module, you can allow the person access. So here's an example of accident and incident charts. I'm going to allow them access to there and then they can edit. Or to the chart writer, I can allow them access to add, to edit, or to delete. Now, the administrators, we would suggest, have access to most of the modules. Coordinators and investigators and most other members, we generally don't allow the delete function, which doesn't allow them to go into the system and delete any of the data from within the system. So for most users, we have a look at what they're going to be allowed access to. I don't really want them to reassign or be allowed to reopen accidents or incidents. I'm going to allow them access to the audit module and to be able to manage audits and my audits, but I don't want them to be able to delete. And you can go through the various different areas of Mango and decide whether you're going to give them access to the various different areas. Generally, most people, other than the system administrators, we will give them access to this area, but only the system administrators have access to the system admin area and beyond. So generally, this is what we've created so far as an example of an access profile. So that's the first thing we'll do, is we'll create multiple access profiles for the various different user types that you have within Mango. Once you've created your access profiles, you then want to give people within your organization access to Mango. So here we're going to go into employees, and here's my example person, ABC Able. I'm going to select that person, and once their information has been loaded, then you can see access rights. So generally what I do is I use the person's email address as their username. So I'm going to go access rights, and I'm going to open this up for editing. Okay, now there's a lot of information in here that you can select, and what Mango's gone to great lengths to detail in the orange writing what selecting each of these tick boxes will entail. Generally, most of the administrators would have these boxes ticked that they can view sensitive information and can edit event history. But for most general users, this may not apply. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a username for the person, which is their email address, and I'm going to give them a password. And please note, Mango requires that the password has a minimum of 8 digits and it must have a number in it. So, and then what Mango will automatically do is to check that both of the passwords match. So I've given them a username and I've given them a password, and I'd like to take you down to the bottom here and show you that none of these boxes are ticked at the moment, giving them access to anything within the system. So I've created a username and a password. I'm going to press save. Now at this particular point in time, it's going to ask me if I want to import an access profile. So I'm going to select import an access profile, and I can say, well, I'm going to select the access profile example that I've just created. So, and if this was the first time, I don't need to overwrite, but if they had an existing access profile, then I would select that box to overwrite the previous access profile. I'm then going to select save. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom, you can see how the boxes that were previously not ticked have now been ticked with that particular access profile. And if I want to enable the person to have app access, then I'm going to select enable app access. So that will allow the person to use their username and password to access the Mango phone app. You can always disable that app or reset app access if the person loses or forgets their particular password. So that's just a quick summary of how to create in system administration in the Human Resources setup, how to create access profiles, then how to go into the Human Resources module to the employees, and how to allow each employee access to the system based on the various person's access rights.